Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. We are going to be getting into the re-release of Tom Ford's Cafe Rose, but before that, I'm going to put a link above for my video at the perfumery haul. Please take some time to go and watch this. I would highly appreciate it if you guys would comment on the video if you have any of the fragrances featured within it, and what notes drew you towards this fragrance. Like, share and subscribe. I'm just interested to know what notes draw people to certain fragrances, because there's so many notes across the world that we can appreciate, and what you may like, we can go and find out about it, and this may be something for us to take an interest in. Now, with that being said, I was in the Tom Ford station and someone handed me this rose, Cafe Rose by Tom Ford. And I remember looking at it and I was like, rose, but it's winter time, and I threw it in my bag and I walked off. I didn't think nothing of it, and then a few days later I was like, wow, this guy really gave me a rose scented fragrance when winter is here. I cannot believe that. Why did he give me this? I was starting to spiral. Because I like to wear rose during spring and summer, so I just couldn't figure it out. But I know that autumn is soon, but to me it's colder and colder. But I thought, okay, Tom Ford has this distinctive note where it may be able to be carried and blended well within these colder months, so I didn't want to dismiss it. I thought, okay, let me give it a try. And that's the great thing with samples, because you might spray something and you'll be like, no, not for me, or you might spray it and be like, oh, I like this, but that's only the top note, and you haven't really given it time to get to know you, for you to get to know it. I think it takes a minimum of 2 days, just because chemistry wise as well. So there's that to bear in mind. And I know that Tom Ford have other rose fragrances like Rose de Chine and Rose Prick, so maybe they might be onto something. If you like to wear rose in the winter time, I still don't see it, but then we're gonna give it a try. So I tried this at least 4 times. I really wanted to give it the best chance. I didn't want to be biased and everything like that. So initially I had sprayed it on my wrist. Boom, boom, boom. Not like this. We're not washing panties. You gotta let it sit in and soak into your skin. That's what I think. But sprayed it and I was hit by heavy rose, and it wasn't like the rose that I had experienced in other fragrances that I have, the Damascena rose. So I assumed that it was 2 sets of roses. The other rose that I know to be in fragrances are Turkish rose and Bulgarian rose. I was hit with a scent that I remember, patchouli, patchouli incense sticks. I like to burn these incense sticks, and patchouli is such a beautiful smell. It's very deep and musky, and it's very strong. On its own, you may not be able to wear it, but don't sleep on patchouli, because people say lavender helps you sleep, but patchouli, it will relax you. It's a great oil to massage into you as well if you're having aches and pains. So don't sleep on the patchouli, okay? And then obviously you have that someone is wearing Tom Ford scent, and there was a woody scent that I smelled, woody, balsamic, sweet, smooth, like sandalwood. So this is what I encountered on the first spray. Let it sit for a few hours. I put it here, remember, not on the wrist because I'm washing my hands, so I wanted to again give it the best chance. I put it here, and a few hours later, where out there rose? I couldn't smell it. It was very, very faint. So I thought, okay, I will give it another try. So I applied it on my wrist. Not my wrist, sorry, my forearm. As you can see, it is empty. I applied it on my forearm and then on my cleavage. A few hours later, again, I could not smell it. It was weird. I don't know. I just want to be honest with you guys. I think that's because I know that there's other Tom Ford fragrances that I've tried that I can spray and it lasts a good while. So I think I was having that kind of thought. So, okay, I tried it a third time, but this time I tried it in the evening. I tried it in the evening and I sprayed it on my forearm again, and I sprayed it on my neck. And when I sprayed it and I was like, oh, this is sexy, like something really changed. Like, oh, this is sexy. That is the thought that I had. I tried it in the evening, and when I smelt it later, a few hours later, it was faint on the forearm, but on the neck, I went like this, and it was almost as if I had just sprayed it. And I like to put it in certain areas, like, okay, most people put it on their wrist and behind their ear, but I like to put it on my neck here, like, so if there's a droplet of sweat, please don't judge me, but it will drip, it will mix together, intertwine, mingle, you know. And then I like to put it on sometimes the stomach or the small of my back. Like, these are the places I like to put it on, because if you do sweat and then you dab it, you have that hand movement and then you get to experience the fragrance again. Things like that. Like, I don't know if it's the chemistry as well, but those are the places where I love to spray it to give it the best chance. So on the third go, it was a completely different experience. But the question is also, like, how long do we expect a fragrance to last before having to reapply it again? So after the third attempt of trying it, I went to check the website where many people convene and talk about their like, dislike for it, the notes within the fragrance, the opinion, other perfumes that smell like that. And on the website it said that the notes included are Turkish rose, coffee, Bulgarian rose, patchouli, cardamom, ylang-ylang, coriander, frankincense, and sandalwood. So there's not a lot of notes going on, which is a good thing. Did I smell these notes, you ask? There are a few that I had smelt, and I was really interested to know that they had put the cardamom and coriander together. Separately, I wouldn't have thought that they would go together. I think it was just really blended well. I really enjoyed knowing that, actually, because I know that this would have added to the spiciness and warmth of the fragrance. It's a very clever move. With the coffee, you don't really smell strong bitterness that coffee has. Like, I don't drink coffee, so I was a bit scared because cafe hints towards coffee, but you don't get that overwhelming scent that coffee has, so you don't need to worry about that. And they also will say here that coffee wasn't used as much as rose and woody notes were used. Would I wear it again? Oh, that's the question. Would I wear it again? Rose and wood. If you had asked me 2 tries ago, I would have said no. It's a no for me. Like, rose, winter, no. But, you know, I would like to try it again. I wouldn't go out my way to get it, but I think, like, if you love the rose scented fragrances and there is something that you may want to wear within winter, then this could work for you. Personally, again, rose in the winter is not for me. And I also have my eyes on other notes such as violet and vanilla within the winter. And the best thing about reviews is that you don't have to take my word for it. If you love rose scented fragrances, then go and check it out for yourself. You have the reviews on the website, and you don't want to be deterred by someone's dislike for it, or even their like may make you think like, I'm not too sure. Or you may smell it on someone else and may not be as fond of it until you try it on yourself. So the best thing to always do is just check it out, try it out, form your own opinion on it. And thank you for joining me and watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have this in your collection, then leave a comment below. What is it that you love about this fragrance, and what other rose scented fragrances do you have in your collection?